Hello, friends, and welcome to this explainer. Welcome to the channel Move Your World from Within, where we explore thought-provoking ideas and practical wisdom that can bring real, meaningful change to your life. Just a quick reminder, our explainers are actually available in 3 languages: English, Hindi, and Marathi, and we have separate playlists set up for each one. Today, we're going to be discussing a really important topic: your role in moving your world. Now, if you've read the book or followed this channel for a while, you probably already understand this foundational idea. Your world is your creation. Okay, let's really dive into this and clarify it carefully, not emotionally, but rationally. You see, your world is your creation for 3 main reasons. First, the opinions and perspectives through which you view life are either created by you or they're accepted by you. Second, the work, the projects, and the tasks that you've completed, basically your karma, well, that's what has built the structure of your present world. And third, your internal architecture. I'm talking about your beliefs, your interpretations, reactions, and actions. That internal architecture has shaped the exact world you experience today. And hey, if at any point you feel the need to pause and just reflect on this, please do. These are big ideas, and they really aren't meant to be rushed. So let's move on to the next concept and see how this builds. Ask yourself, how much of life do you really control? Let's examine this honestly. You obviously can't control everything, right? You cannot control the past, other people's choices, random events, or forces of nature. But you can control what you focus on. You can control how you interpret events, which opinions you accept or reject, what actions you take next, and the work that you complete. Again, that's your karma. You can also control how you respond emotionally once you become aware. Now, sure, that isn't exactly total control, but it absolutely is decisive control. Almost all the crucial elements of world building, your thoughts, your feelings once conscious, your decisions, and your actions, they all lie firmly within your influence. And this actually brilliantly illustrates a timeless truth. As Swami Vivekananda famously said, you are the creator of your own destiny. Now, let's make sure we interpret this wisely. This doesn't mean you actively control every single circumstance that happens to you. It means you shape your overall trajectory through your inner framework and your actions. Look, luck exists, chance exists, but luck only amplifies or disrupts things temporarily. It doesn't permanently rule a disciplined and aware mind. So here is the really crucial question. If your world is your creation, why does it sometimes feel wrong? This is exactly where intellectual honesty is required from us. If something feels wrong in your life, it doesn't mean you actively created every external condition or that you somehow caused every single hardship. Not at all. What it means is that something in your internal structure needs a bit of examination. Well, where exactly does this misalignment happen? Let's think about it. Perhaps you adopted opinions that were never truly yours to begin with. Maybe you gave excessive importance to others' judgments. You might have ignored your own core. Or maybe you pursued a version of success that was defined by someone else entirely. You could have postponed necessary action, or perhaps you just completed less karma than your true potential demanded. Ultimately, when the core, which is your inner clarity and authenticity, gets corrupted or ignored, that's when your world begins to feel misaligned. Which brings us to a really profound realization. Discomfort is not a punishment, it is feedback. Maybe you desired recognition, or maybe you wanted a specific position. Maybe you longed for a meaningful relationship. Whatever feels wrong right now has a history behind it, a history of decisions, accepted beliefs, or even inaction. But again, this philosophy isn't about blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong. It's about reclaiming your power over the things you actually can influence. Let's talk about the weight of other people's opinions for a moment. One of the most silent distortions in our own world building is exactly this. You begin living according to borrowed opinions. You start measuring yourself through other people's standards. You react to their judgments, and you build your identity almost entirely through external validation. And when that happens, gradually, your world simply stops reflecting you. The text emphasizes a really powerful idea here. Opinions are construction material. Just think about that for a second. If you build with weak material, your overall structure is naturally going to weaken. Because of that, at some point, maturity demands this exact sentence. You are entitled to your opinion, but I am responsible for mine. When your own opinion of yourself becomes stronger than the public noise around you, that's when your world truly stabilizes. Which naturally leads us to ask, why do we develop these wrong perspectives in the first place? Well, the answer is pretty simple, though it's challenging to fix. It's because we are rarely aware of what is actually happening inside our own minds. Okay, let's break down exactly how this happens, step by step. First, a thought becomes a belief. Then, that belief becomes an attitude. The attitude becomes a decision. The decision becomes an action. Repeated action becomes karma. And finally, that accumulated karma becomes your world. This process is happening continuously, whether you're conscious of it or not. But once you finally understand that your world is always under construction, you stop building it unconsciously. You can start intentionally correcting those foundations. So, you might be wondering, what about the past? Well, the past matters, but only as data, not as destiny. Your luck, your upbringing, your environment, and yes, your previous mistakes, all of these certainly influence your present condition. But from this exact moment onward, it's your responses that define your future realities. For study purposes, absolutely. Analyze the opinions you've formed along the way. But the path forward is quite simple. Learn from the past. Do not live in it. Build from right now. Now let's understand your responsibility moving forward. From this moment on, be aware of your role, be aware of your opinions, be aware of your reactions, and be deeply aware of your unfinished karma. You see, world building isn't some dramatic overnight event. It happens step by step. You correct one opinion, you complete one task, you withdraw your energy from one source of unnecessary validation, you strengthen one internal principle, and then you repeat. That is exactly how worlds move. I'd love for you to consider this final thought. You may not be able to control the entire universe, but you absolutely control the direction of your inner architecture. And honestly, that is powerful enough. All of these ideas are drawn directly from the book Move Your World from Within, where this entire process of internal world building is explained in much greater depth. If these concepts resonate with you today, I highly encourage you to explore the book. Develop the habit of reading. Engage deeply with the kinds of ideas that refine your thinking. And most importantly, move your world from within. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Let me leave you with this one question. What is the very first step you're going to take today to rebuild your inner architecture?